Well, welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here, and this is going to be your guide to using the hatchet. Doing things differently for this guide because I thought the hammer was maybe just like the most, and do you even need a guide to just like smack things with the hammer? But nah, that's the hatchet. The brain off, no skill, press buttons, do whatever thing. So that's what we're just gonna go for and see how that plays out, where it's like, wow, we press Berserk and then we can't get knocked down, and we're just like clearing out and slashing things. I don't even have refreshing move. If we had refreshing move, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, you want to like lead with Berserk way more, and there goes the pack of enemies. Neat. What happened here? I don't know what happened here. Also, like, why are you even playing this for PvE? Because that's what my guides revolve around. The only reason anyone would want to run a hatchet is to cheese people in duels. That's it. You go duels, you bring out the hatchet, and then you don't die. Hatchet is so no skill free. I just did that last pull completely wrong because I didn't lead with Berserk, so that's what we're supposed to do. So let's go and do that, and we'll see how much more different it is. Because, like, oh yeah, you just can't be knocked down or staggered while you're Berserk. And hopefully, if you don't kill it in that time, I guess it kind of sucks to be you. But if you do, then you're good, and then you just want to get all of your moves. We're like, yep, we just hack things up, and then we have Refreshing Torrent, so we just, like, keep hacking things up, and you can tell when it's off cooldown, or, like, you can tell when your Berserk runs out because it's off cooldown, and then you start dying again. But if you have the Heart Rune of Stone form, you just do that, and you just keep on spamming. It's like, oh, where did everything go? Hey, I'm kind of actually a DPS. That's neat. Oh, we're getting more crit chance and crit damage, and that applies to everything else, and it would only be better if we could find Refreshing Move, but our stuff's pretty good. Your entire gameplay revolves around Berserk, so let's talk about it. Also, Hatchet is like strength dex scaling, so you go max strength, you go max dex, and then you put points other places, I guess. I don't know, you're just left-clicking, and every once in a while pressing a different button. So, Hatchet, you want to max out your Berserk stuff. You go Berserk, maybe even all the way down when you're first leveling it up. Feral Rush comes in, and then you can also just deal more damage on an execute with it. I don't really care about Backstab. Like, Backstab does matter in PvE situations. Do people even want Hatchet for expeditions? I don't know. But if, like, a tank gets everyone facing them, and then you're getting free Backstab crits on the Berserker, yeah, you want that. You also want the Rogue perk, because Rogue will give you extra backstab damage, which is the thing. Raging Torrent. Haste is whatever, and then you can kind of do a final attack, but then you just go chop, chop, chop damage. Here's what makes Berserk the thing. Uninterruptible, while it's active. And then you also cleanse yourself, and then you also have lifesteal, and who cares about the movement speed, and then you also just have attack increase, and maybe taunt. And maybe you do weird taunt stuff on this as well. I don't know. Here, like, why are you even watching this guide? And just in case you screw up, every 60 seconds you get to die, but not really. And then you find a way out, and then you do some other things. Then we can talk about the perks. You want Refreshing Torrent on your Hatchet because it's more powerful on the Hatchet. And then here we have Mortal Power, which just makes us stronger. But you can also have Refreshing Move, and then Enchanted, because as you saw, we just spam light attacks. And then you want Keen Berserk somewhere, 13% critical hit chance, 13% more damage, and whatever. Like, your gear is, maybe you get some Constitution, I guess that's okay. Then you want Strength and Dexterity primarily. Your Tuned Leather Pants bail you out. We're not even efficient, but also Enchanted Ward, just so you take less damage when you're actually taking damage. And I think Refreshing is more important for a Hatchet build, that way your Berserk comes off cooldown, and then you have that Refreshing move, and you're just playing in Berserk as much as possible, as long as possible, and it's even crazier with the Blood Drinker, but also Life-Stealing / Ring is going to be pretty powerful as well. Then you just slap on Diamonds and Onyxes, and everything's good, but yeah, like, you just dive in and get it done, and it's boring, but I guess it's kind of free. Now, you might notice I have nothing over here, because you can throw your Hatchet into a thrown weapon, and then you can put Vorpal on it and do weird stuff. You figure that out for yourself. And then I guess having a defensive secondary weapon is going to be really good, because you go into your greatsword and it's like, oh, defensive stance. We can just kind of turtle and chill and then block damage and then do this healing, whatever that's called. Relentless Rush. Because Adaptive Rush, if Defiant Stance, it heals for 15% of its damage. So for the cooldown you have on your Berserk, like, oh no, Berserk wore off. I'm vulnerable. Nah, you're not. And then you can also go like Flail Shield, even that's more focus scaling, but you can still, like, all in on strength, and then you can also go sword and shield, and that's fine. So even then, like, man, how unga bunga do you want to take it? Unfortunately, the strength scaling isn't that crazy into the soft cap, but also, if you go thwarting strikes, and you have, like, perma grit on attacks, and then you hit 300 constitution, that's where things kind of get interesting. And then it's achievable to get a little bit of extra base damage on the 300 strength if I didn't have, like, an accidental intelligence weapon, and then the rest goes into dexterity. And then you maybe put a taunt gem on it, and now, like, you're super unkillable tank, and during your downtime, you just chill and not die behind a shield or a greatsword. And, like, that has to be everything about the Hatchet, right? Like, Hatchet users are just so unserious that you just spam the left click, and you have insane single target damage, which also extends to a little bit of AoE, which is nice. And then you just press and you just carve. I don't know what your agency is, but it just kind of seems like, yeah, low skill ceiling, low skill cap. I don't think there's any expression here. Prove me wrong in the comments down below. Have fun? I don't know.